What's up, world? Good morning, everyone. It's live now. We're real. This is real. Did you know black and brown people across the world are reconnecting to their roots and redefining their relationships to the land by gardening and farming? And Black Gardener Talk is dedicated to sharing those voices to inspire all people of color and maybe even some that don't look like us. But sometimes we just need our own self space to talk. I'm messing up this morning, y'all. Good morning. This is Kamani Anku, and this is Black Gardener Talk. And my guest today is Andre the Farmer. We're going to get him right now. All right, so we can get this thing popping. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Andre,
Hey, what's up? How you doing? Can you
I'm
hear me?
great. How are you?
Good, good. I'm doing all right.
Okay, let me adjust my camera. Some people was on earlier, because they saw I went live. They were ready. They were ready for you. Also, folks, throw some cherries in the room for Andre for obvious reasons, okay? Throw some cherries in the room. Let me see some cherries fly up in the room for
What are
Andre
what are
for
cherries?
obvious reasons. And that's because he's a newbie to the live, Instagram live. This is his first time on Instagram live. So yeah, throw some cherries in the room for him. So we're gonna get started. Sir, my first question off the break is, what was your first memories of gardening?
My first memory of gardening. Wow. That would probably be my father, because it's kind of sort of a two-part thing, because my father had a garden in the backyard and my grandmother would do something in the garden. It was probably like maybe a 15 by 15 foot little patch of ground that they sort of dug up and planted tomatoes and stuff like that. This is in Canada. I grew up in Canada. So
Okay.
do that in the summer. But then for most of my life, I did not do any gardening at all. And it wasn't until about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, I planted my first mango tree. And that's where everything just sort of blossomed from there. So, I didn't have this long love of gardening throughout my life. Like, in fact, if about 7 or 8 years ago you told me I would be passionate about gardening, I'd probably tell you that you're crazy. I would have just laughed. But probably not. I got too much other stuff to do.
Okay, that's what's up. Did y'all hear that history? That's some deep history right there. In Canada and now in the States, growing his own food. And 8 years ago, he never thought he would be so passionate about gardening. And you can tell he's very passionate about gardening because he's on Instagram, he's on TikTok, he's on there like almost like every day. I'm not sure if you shoot every day, but my strategy is I only shoot once a week and then I share that out throughout the week. But he is very passionate about it. And that's a great thing. Like I said, throw some cherries in the room for Andre for some obvious reasons. I like to see some cherries come through. Um, so your first mango, and the first mango is where you planted, where you live currently now.
Yes, yeah. I've been in this house for about 6 years now, and it was a Kent mango tree, and I thought the idea of just having a mango tree would be really cool. So I planted one mango tree, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna plant a second mango tree, and then the second one, and then why don't I plant an avocado tree? And I planted that, and then um, from there it just sort of grew, and then it was a bunch of trees, and then COVID happened, and I was down in the garden for 6 weeks, like 10 hours a day, just building out the food forest.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, other than that, what other things you were growing in that food forest when COVID hit? What were some of the things you growing?
At the time when COVID hit, I had Barbados cherries, I had um, lychee, um, probably about four different varieties of mango, a little bit of passion fruit. But my thing was, I thought I was kind of limited to sort of where the lawn ended. And because we had a lot of scrub area behind that was just really thick brush. And I never imagined I'd try to even plant in there. You couldn't even walk through it. But I've never had a vacation longer than 7 days. And I've only had one vacation longer than 7 days in 20 years. And having 6 weeks off for due to COVID you know, I had to do something, and you couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't do anything. So
Yes.
basically, I was down there 10 hours a day clearing out brush. And then I kind of came to the realization that, you know, you don't have to have a sprinkler system to plant trees or plant other stuff. So I started just expanding towards the lake, and I just started, you know, building it out as I went along. Like, there's still areas that are still kind of untouched back there that I haven't built out yet.
Okay, that's what's up. I mean, we all had a lot of time. I mean, and that's where gardening beets came from. I mean, I've been growing for 12 years, but gardening and beets was a business that I decided to start when COVID hit, because everybody was like, I need something to do. I'm locked down. Can you help me? And one of my friends was like, I'll pay you $1,200 to help me start a garden. And I was like, $1,200. Okay, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna have my mask on. I'm gonna be wrapped up, you know, my gloves on. I'm coming, you know.
Like,
So
ding dong,
I
you're
was
at the
like,
door already.
that's it, you know. And I feel the same way. Like 12 years ago, I wouldn't say that this was really my passion, but it has grown into my passion, and that's my goal, is to help people grow food and grow into a community, and now become a farmer. I'm like, I'll call myself a gardener now, but I'm transitioning into becoming a farmer, because now I have some land that I can actually go bigger. Um
Well, how
speaking of
much land
that,
do you have?
yeah. Speaking of that, how did you learn? How did you know what to grow in that area that you were working with? I mean, I know
Well,
you said your dad had a farm, but you were in a total
no,
different
my
place
dad didn't have a
at that
farm.
point.
He had a little box garden in the backyard. Um, you know, so he didn't have a farm. He wasn't a farmer.
I mean,
Uh,
yeah, garden. I'm sorry.
yeah, but how did I know what to grow? You know, someone explained it really well to me. You know, the difference between a good gardener and a great gardener is a great gardener has killed way more plants. And, you know, I planted by trial and error. You know, I planted some things in the falls of certain years that definitely couldn't make it through the winter. Uh, you know, so I've lost a lot of trees. Even now, like, we had a freeze that went through here. I lost a cashew tree, and one of my sour sops went down. I might have a cacao that's also gone. But you know, trial and error. That's what I can say. Trial and error. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. Um, you know, I watched like every garden tour of a food forest that's like in this area that I could see online. I was watching them. Like, I was like, that was it. I was just locked in on watching videos of people's food forests. So now I try to make videos of other people's food forests so other people can see what's going on. Because you'd be amazed how many people are growing things that you don't even realize. Like, I never saw a mango tree in Florida. I've been here for 20 years. I never saw one in probably the first 15 years that I was here. But since I started planting mangoes, I see mango trees everywhere. Like, you know, every other house has a mango tree in the backyard, it looks like. You know, so, you know, you just become more aware of your surroundings, and through trial and error, you just learn the kind of things that grow. You know, I met a lot of gardeners, so I get advice from local people. People at nurseries have advice as well. So there's a lot of resources out there. You know, I try to explain things as best as possible on my YouTube channel. There's some longer videos on there where I try to explain things.
Okay, from planting all these fruit trees and growing food and cacaos and pineapples, and what made you decide to go to YouTube or even get on social media and put it out in video form?
That's kind of interesting. You want the truth of that?
The truth of it. We want the truth.
All right, I'll tell you the truth. I had a friend. I went to the movies with her and her husband, and me and my wife, and no, it was me. Went to the basketball game. Went to Orlando Magic basketball because they had tickets. And on the way out, she was telling me how she had Instagram, and she had like 3,000 followers, and someone sent her a free pair of boots. And I was like, man, I got a bigger garden than her. I should be able to get some free stuff too. I was like, all right, let me start Instagram. And I was trying to think of a name. And we're on the way home. I remember the car. And we're trying to think of a name. And it was like, and, you know, I'm orthodontist, so people call me Dr. Dre sometimes, or Andre, or whatever. So I was thinking like Dr. Dre's Funky Food Forest, you know, and I had all these kind of names I was coming up with, and all these things, and it was kind of stupid. But and I realized that you can only change your name on Instagram, I think, like so many times before you have to wait like a week or something before you can change it again. Because I was just coming up with names all the time. And then somewhere along the line, I don't know how I came up with Andre the Farmer, but I came up with that. And then I had a patient that came in, and she was a social media person. I was telling her how I was trying to build my Instagram, and she said, "You need to get on TikTok." And I was like, "Well, TikTok, that's like just nonsense. That's just girls dancing and stupid stuff." So, and now she's like, "No, no, no. Once the algorithm learns what you like, it really caters towards you, right?" And I've learned that. Like TikTok to me is the most informational social media. Like anything you want to learn about it, someone will explain it to you in 3 minutes on TikTok. It's really phenomenal. Once the algorithm learns, the default is nonsense, but if the algorithm learns you get really specific, important information. So then I started TikTok, and I started doing a couple of videos, and I wasn't really getting a lot of views or likes. And then I did a video about sweet potatoes, and that video ended up getting, I don't know, like 900,000 views or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And that's sort of the video that sort of just triggered everything. And then that's when people started following, and that's when the pressure was on, because now I got to come up with new interesting videos all the time. And it's hard because, especially in the winter, when you don't have a lot of things to harvest, a lot of new stuff happening. So, I realized that a lot of the things that I just do, those are videos. So I'll be out there trying to think of a video for like a week, and I can't think of anything. And then I'll go out in the garden and do a couple of things. I'm like, wait a minute, this is a video right here. This is a video here. This is a video. And I'll make 5 videos in 20 minutes, because I'm just doing 5 things that are interesting, or that people might find interesting.
I definitely find them interesting. And what I like it's because, like you said, it's so personal. It's not contrived. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, ooh, I gotta plan this out and I'm gonna say this specific words or whatever. It's just like real. Like, and I really like your videos for that matter, because a lot of people do plan out their content, and when they planning out their content, because it's just not as great as just some spontaneous type stuff. That's why I like to go live. I feel like my niche now is going live, because I built up more followings just doing these lives with Black Garden Talk. And then I do another show on Thursday where I interview music artists that usually have gardens, and so I kind of fuse the two, and I just kind of like that. I don't want to, if I put a garden video out, I don't want it to be just some contrived stuff that I just like, or I'm writing down, even though I worked in television most of my life, you know what I'm saying? So I am a producer and director, so I can come up with that stuff, but I still like that spontaneous stuff that like you do, so I appreciate you for that. Folks, go follow him, Andre the Farmer. He has some amazing videos out there, and he's building his following on TikTok and on Instagram, probably Facebook too. You got to get on Fanbase though. Fanbase is an all Black social media network. Once you get on there and sign up, you can monetize your content right there on the first day, and so it's a great platform.
Fanbase.
Fanbase. Yeah, Fanbase. Check it out later on today. I've been on there for 4 months now. I made about $60. That's not bad for someone that doesn't post a lot. So yeah, you can monetize it. And now I'm also an investor in the app too. They looking for investors now. I think you can. The bottom line is $250, and you can get about 20 some shares or whatever. And because they in the campaign season right now. And once they go public, I might be a millionaire if they go public in the next year.
I'm definitely gonna check them out. That
it's a faster way to monetize your content, and that's what we want to do eventually. We are Black creators, and a lot of the other creators that don't look like us necessarily make money copying us sometimes, and so we got to do it. What was your first mistakes while learning this gardening stuff?
I think my biggest mistake was not planning big, because everything was sort of done piece by piece. There was no master plan. So I would advise that if you are starting like a garden and you have aspirations, and you have aspirations, then you really want to plan the whole thing out. Because my land I have a 1 acre lot, but I have about a third or maybe a half acre that I can actually grow on. And there's different climate zones within that lot. Like there's areas closer to the water. There's areas that stay drier. There's areas that have more dappled light. And I have very few areas with full sun. because I have the big oak trees in the back there. So, I would have strategically planted trees in different places, but because everything was sort of add-ons, it was like, hey, now we're going to like chop down, X amount of brush, and now we can plant on this land. And hey, now we've exhausted that. Let's chop down this brush, and now we plant on this land. So it wasn't really like a master plan. So I have some things that are growing in places that are not ideal. I have a Barbados cherry that I'm currently doing a couple air layers on because I want to actually move it. And it's a very mature tree, but I need to move it because it's not my favorite fruit and it's taking up a premium spot that could be a really good mango or a lychee there. So that's the kind of thing those are the biggest mistakes that I made. And also the raised beds. Where I put the raised beds, they do not get a ton of direct sunlight, but I just don't have a lot of direct sunlight spots. We are building some new raised beds, or I'm building some new raised beds this summer or this spring, and I'm going to put them in front of some of my trees at the very front of the food forest, and hopefully they will get more sun and be more productive.
Have you ever thought about building reflectors? So I have a reflector on one part of my yard where it doesn't not necessarily get a lot of sun. So I built this reflector out of wood and some reflector paper stuff, and
Okay.
the sun beams down, and then it pops into that area. And I'm telling you, that garden part of my yard grows like crazy, better than
Really?
something that has a lot of sun. So yeah, think about that too when
Wow,
you.
that's an interesting idea. That might be an idea for some of the raised beds. It's kind of hard because everything's so dispersed. What we did is I actually had a guy come in and cut down some of the trees and some of the overhang. So I've got more light coming in now than I did, a couple months ago. So I'm hoping that this year, summer, the additional light should help things out a little bit.
Oh, that's what's up. From mistakes to what was your first garden success?
Garden success. It'd probably be a mango, just getting to eat a mango that you grew yourself. And I'll tell you, like, there's nothing like a mango you grew yourself. Like, it is totally different than a store-bought mango. I'm also, my first rack of bananas was amazing. I really didn't even, I don't eat regular bananas like whole. Like, I'll put bananas in a smoothie or something like that, but I don't eat a banana. But those bananas, I eat like, when they're ripe, I eat like 5 of them a day. Like,
That's what's up. Yeah, I mean, that's a great thing to have fresh fruit. I mean, I can't grow mangoes. I do have a mango plant in the house, but I doubt if it ever fruits just because it's in a different kind of climate. But the crazy part of that, I have a dragon fruit here that has bloomed and fruited, and that stays in the house. Well, I'm gonna keep it in the house. I had a problem one time when I took it outside and I couldn't get it back inside because it got so big. But yeah. I have dragon fruit, and then I have pomegranates, and I have a papaya as well. So yeah, I wish I could
where are you
grow a
located?
mango. Yeah,
Where are you located?
I'm in Maryland, right outside
Oh,
of DC.
okay. I used to live in Silver Spring.
Okay, yeah.
I went,
So yeah,
I went to Howard
Upper
University.
Marlboro area, probably
Upper
about 30
Marlboro?
minutes from Silver Spring, and it's currently snowing here today.
Oh,
It was
man.
60 degrees, 60 something degrees yesterday, and it's currently snowing today.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
rough. I remember that life. I was at Howard
yeah.
University for
But
6
it's
years.
folks, if you're not growing, you need to be growing because there's nothing like a fresh fruit off the tree or a fresh tomato off the vine. It's incredible. Moving forward, what advice would you give a new gardener?
Boy,
Because at one point you was a
don't,
new gardener.
yeah, yeah. I still feel like a new gardener. I just don't be afraid of failure. You know, um, we had a freeze. I'm going to lose, 3 or 4 trees. It's not a big deal. You plant another one or you plant something else. But you're going to learn. You're going to learn more from your failures than you will from your successes. Because a lot of times your successes are just going to make you overconfident and you think everything you did was right. When a lot of times some of the things you did might have been wrong. Like when I started air layering trees, I'd have a 50% success rate. So the ones that succeeded, I thought, wow, I'm doing this really good. But I didn't realize why I was having the problems until I saw the ones that I did wrong. And that's how I learned. So, don't be afraid of failure. Push the limits too. Like, they say this can't grow here or this can't grow here. Well, let's see, because one of the guys I follow always says the plants don't read the books, so they don't know. They all want to live. So if you create the right circumstances, plants will live. They want to live. So you have to almost deliberately kill them because they want to live, right?
Yes, and I feel the same way because I do work for a big box store part time, and they had that dragon fruit there, and I was like, they got a dragon fruit in Maryland. I'm gonna get it. It's only like $20. If it dies, it dies. You know what I'm saying? If it lives in fruit, it fruits. You know what I'm saying? And I had it now for 3 years, and last year was the first time it fruited, and it went from a little tiny pot like this to almost can't bring it in the house in the winter. Took 3 people to get it in the house, and it's still flipped over, and it's currently flipped over in the yoga room. And I drew some holes in it to kind of like make water go in through another way because it's just so heavy, so big. Eventually this summer, I'm gonna try to like repot it or take some pieces of it and repot it out. Um,
You should be selling those cuttings.
yeah, I did sell some cuttings last year, um, or the first year. I sold some cuttings, so I'm going to try to sell some of those too, as well as give some away as like giveaways. Once my website goes up, at the end of this month, I'll do that for people, and then I'll do a whole thing where Maryland can grow dragon fruit too. I'm gonna do a little campaign around that. Um,
That'd be really cool.
Something you said was, I'm going to go back. You said air layering. Let's talk about that a little bit. What is it, and why should we be doing it?
Okay. Well, actually, I did a couple air layers on a live this morning on TikTok, and I've got a lot of videos on air layering. But air layering is the kind of thing that I think is a lot of people don't know about it, but once you learn about it, it's just crazy amazing. So a lot of times we prune our trees, right? Or we have a branch on a tree that's growing and it's not growing in the right direction, it's in a bad spot. And we cut that branch off and we throw it away, or we put it in a compost pile, or we burn it as brush or whatever. Air layering is a process of creating roots on that branch, so you can cut that branch off and plant it, and you will have a mature tree immediately. I have a air layer that I did last summer on a lychee tree, and I put it in a pot, and it's not a big branch, but that branch is already fruiting right now. It's flowering, it's going to fruit, and it's basically brand new because you're getting a mature tree. You're getting a clone of the original tree, and it's mature. The process basically is what you're doing is you're basically cutting through the bark, kind of making a collar where you cut through the bark and the cambium. You add some rooting hormone, bag it up, and in about 3 months, you're going to have the roots growing out of there. Then you just cut the branch off. You can plant that in a pot. You plant it in the ground, and you've got a brand new tree. So instead of cutting a branch and throwing it away, you're basically cloning your trees. So I try to do that with any tree that I want to cut a branch off. I just air layer it first and then cut the branch off.
That's what's up, y'all. I'm going to do that with my peach tree because I have a peach tree that one of the branches is going into my neighbor's yard. I don't mind, and they don't mind it going in their yard either, but I'm thinking maybe I can do that and then cut it off, and by the end of the summer or somewhere midsummer, I can give them that tree, and then they can put it right there beside mine, and then we double our peaches, right?
Exactly. And now you've got, some level of cross-pollination going on there too,
Yeah.
probably.
And we can do that. So, folks, you should be writing this stuff down. If you need to come back later and rewatch this, do it and share it out to your folks so you know how to air layer. Go to his TikTok page and his Instagram and see all
And the
that.
YouTube. And the
YouTube and all
YouTube.
that.
YouTube has really because the key to air layering is understanding what you're trying to do. Because otherwise you're just sort of following directions. That's when you're going to be sort of 50-50. But if you understand the concept, then you're going to get that air layer right every time.
That's what's up. And we need to be supporting each other platforms, y'all, so we can grow as creators too. And as I said, I mean, why do it if we can't monetize our content? We love to do it, but yeah, at the end of the day, sometimes we do want to monetize our content. So it's always good to go and follow those people and support each other. Okay. That's what we need to do as a people. My next question is, how has gardening changed your life since you started?
Boy, I think that it's made me sort of back off some of my other hobbies. You know, I used to spend a lot of time bow hunting, fishing, golfing, and I still do all those things, but I probably spend more time gardening than anything else. You know, it's also allowed me to start a business, a secondary business in the field of permaculture. Um, so those are probably the main things. And it's also given me something that, you know, every morning I wake up, you know, I'm anxious to go out in the garden, you know. So it's given me, I believe life is all about looking forward to things. Like I look forward to my fishing trips. I look forward to my hunting trips. Those are kind of like sort of trips throughout the year that I'm going to be doing. But every single day, I can wake up and look forward to going out in my garden. So it kind of gives you something every single day that you're excited about, you know, and that's what life's about, man. You got to be excited about something, or else you're just gonna die, you know, right? So
Oh yeah.
that's kind of how I feel.
That's how I feel too. I love to go, like, even though, like, you know, Maryland weather is kind of crazy, so I can't always go out in the wintertime and do gardening. But when the summertime comes, I work in the school system, so I am off for like 3 months in the summertime. So I just love to be outside, you know, cooking outside every day, looking at the food, growing food when I, you know, getting ready for fall gardening and everything. I just love it. Barefoot, you know, out there in the swimming pool. I have a swimming pool now, get in the swimming pool and all that good stuff. But you mentioned like side hustle and side business, which is permaculture life. Let's talk about it. What is permaculture? Most people don't know what that is, or they think it's something else. What it is, what is it, and then how did you decide that that's the business you wanted to do?
Okay, well, you know, one, you know, I feel like it's bigger than a side hustle. I feel like this is a brand. We're trying to create a brand. So one,
Let me
let
stop
me,
you real quick. I didn't mean like a side hustle, side hustle.
right,
I
right, no,
just
no, no.
assumed like a side hustle because you know that we still have our regular jobs, and so
Right, right.
it's
No, no,
like a side
I know
hustle.
what you meant. I know what you meant. And I didn't take any offense to it at all. No, nothing like that. But no, but I just want people to understand, like this is not like I don't believe that Permaculture Life is a company about selling shirts. It is a brand, and it's a way of life. It's a movement. So basically, permaculture was a term that was coined by a guy named Bill Mollison in Australia, you know, many years ago. And basically, it was all about creating permanent culture or permanent agriculture. So it became permaculture. But it's all about finding ways to sort of grow food in a way that's sustainable for the environment, healthy for people. So it's all about sustainability. And everyone has a different definition of what permaculture is to them. But permaculture is more than just it's more than just the actual food part, because permaculture is also about social justice. It's about, you know, it's about Black Lives Matter. It's about anything that pertains to creating a culture that that's sustainable for us on this planet, right? And social justice is part of that as well. And I feel like there's a fishing company called Huck, and they make fishing apparel. And Huck is a company that most people don't know Huck, but they're probably worth over $1 billion as a company. 10 years ago, they didn't exist. I do a lot of offshore fishing. When I go on these trips, Huck is the #1 fishing apparel of offshore fishermen. And I feel like the people that are in this permaculture movement and the sustainability movement, you know, they don't have a brand. Like they don't have a brand that represents them. Like I never found a brand that represented permaculture and the things I do. So we want to be the Huck of permaculture. We want to be the Nike of permaculture. We want to represent those people. So what we've done is we've created a line of apparel that's made sustainably. Everything's made locally. The shirts are made with hemp. They're super soft. Every time you wear them, here's the logo, Permaculture Life. Every time you wear
Yes.
them, they get softer. Every time you wash them, they get softer. They're shipped in recyclable packaging. The paper inside is made with sugarcane. And $1 from every purchase goes towards building community gardens and urban gardens in areas that are underserved. So that's my cause, is the urban gardening and the underserved areas, food deserts. That's what we're trying to solve right now. So that's one of the big things that we do. The hats that we sell are the beanies. The beanies are made with recycled materials, and they have the logo on them, and they're gray. We have gray and we have grayer. There's 2 different shades of gray. These hats are sort of just hats I had made to wear around the garden. These are not made with recycled materials. So these are not something that we sell on the website right now, but we're trying to find a manufacturer that can produce a hat like this that is one that we can sell. I don't know if I'm ever going to sell a yellow one because the yellow ones are mine. So I feel like I'm going to find some other color that we will make available to everybody else. But right now we have the beanies. I had a promotion where we are giving away free katuk seeds with any purchase on the website. And also, like I said, orders over $75 get free shipping, and $1 from every purchase goes towards building urban gardens. This week I was in a school in an underserved area, and we are building a community garden at the elementary school. So I'm very excited about that right now. You can look at my TikTok. There's a video where I'm working with the kids and building some things, some crafts inside the class.
That is what's up. That is deep, y'all. Did y'all get all of that? And when you did get it all, go to the website, go to the Instagram, the TikTok, and click on all the links until you find a permaculture shirt and hats. I'm gonna give me one today. I'm gonna order me one today and support the cause because I had Erica Plants on yesterday, and she said y'all was working together on something.
Exactly. So she's one of the charities that we are working with. America's Grow to Heal, Plant to Heal, Plant to Heal. She's the charities we're working with. So we're trying to actually spread out our sort of our giving to multiple different charities. So that's what we're doing right now. But oh man, I forgot what I was going to tell you. Oh, there's a coupon code that I'm going to share with you guys. So there's not a ton of, there's like 16 people on here. You guys get the coupon code. It's I know Dre. So people call me Dre. So just I know Dre. And that's a coupon code that's going to get you a discount at the website. So I'm not supposed to spread that everywhere, but you guys are my friends. You guys know me. So
that's what's up. Thanks for the code. We appreciate the code, and we appreciate permaculture life. We need to make a statement with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm part of it. I'm gonna join. I'm gonna be and do all that stuff because I'm doing that here, man.
So we have a little ad campaign, and we're gonna actually make some shirts. I'm about that life.
Okay. Yeah, the permaculture life.
Yeah.
I like that. That's what's up.
Be about that life, guys. Come on.
Be about that life. All of you can do a series of different ones. You know, I'm all about that life. Be a part of that life. Just keep it moving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Actually, if you go on my TikTok, we made a video where I had some of my TikTok people. They sent in videos saying I'm about that life, and it's like a collage of those people saying that, and then it's permaculture life at the end. It's we made a little thing there for that.
One person said, "What's the website?"
Permaculturelife.com. So this is permaculturelife.com.
Cool, and you can find everything Andre the Farmer on there.
And we're in the process. The website is still sort of being constructed. We're in the process. It's live and everything works, but we are going to be start adding some educational material on there, and a lot of my videos will be available there in like video series, so you guys can sort of see everything in kind of one place.
That's what's up. I like that. I like that. I strive to be like you one day.
I'm old, so you're young. You got a long way to go still.
I'm not that young, but where do you spend most of your time in your garden? Like, where's the space that you like to go to, like on an everyday basis, and just sit and take in everything? Is there such a space?
You know what? I am not a relaxer. like I don't sit down. Like my weekends involve very little sitting. Like yesterday morning, here's a typical day for me. Yesterday morning, I got up at 5. I went bow hunting, and I was stalking through the swamps for a few hours, filling some feeders, doing some work. Got back home at 12, did a tour for a couple people. Actually, they were from a different charity, and I was going to do a cooperation with them. And then after that, from about 1 till night, I was working in the garden. And that's a typical weekend day for me. Literally, there's no moments where I sit down and do nothing. Unless it's raining outside or it's super cold, I will be doing something. I value my daylight hours, and all of my daylight hours I'm going to utilize to the best of my ability. But if I did sit down, it would probably be by the fire pit. I built a fire pit down there, and when I'm burning brush, Sometimes I'll take a break, sit down, and drink a little water or something, and be on my phone and do a live or just check all my things going on in the world. So yeah.
That's what's up. I'm gonna change a little gears or whatever. You said you grew up in Canada. How different was it growing food that you can recall in Canada versus here in the United States?
Well, I'll tell you what. In certain aspects, it's easier to grow food in Canada than to grow food here. You don't have the same pest problems. Um, the soil is so much more fertile. Like in Florida, like I'm growing in sand. Like literally, it's just sand. So I have to put tons of mulch and really, amend the soil a lot to try to be able to grow things here. When I was in Canada, we had an apple tree, a pear tree. Like it's weird because fruits that people sort of, I guess, sort of cherish down here, they're like nothing up there. Like we used to have apple fights in the park because there were just apple trees everywhere. So we would just throw them at each other and have fights. Down here, apples
When
are
they
like,
get real like rotten, like we had a Granny Smith apple tree. Those things would get rotten because it'd be so much. We used to have a ball as kids. We would throw it at cars and everything. We would get
yeah, we would do some crazy stuff with some apples. You'd pick like raspberries, mulberries, like a lot of stuff goes wild. And people think it's Canada, so it's so cold you can't grow things. But like vegetables, like tomatoes and stuff like that, like you can grow tomatoes so much easier in Canada than you can down here. Like down here, tomatoes are really, really tough because it's just so hot and humid. Yeah. Someone just put it's hard to grow things in Florida. So you like the soil is just very fertile up there, and you can just grow vegetables really easily up there.
That's what's up. That's what's up. How do you decide what you're gonna grow? How do you decide what you're gonna grow?
Um,
Is
Boy,
it based off needs, community, family, what your wife likes, maybe what your kids like?
a lot of it's what my wife likes because she's a pescatarian. She doesn't
Okay.
eat meat, but she eats fish. Um, like I'm growing a lot of arugula right now because she said she likes arugula, and I've discovered that I like arugula. Like one of the secrets I'm going to let you guys know is that I'm not a big veggie guy. I'm kind of a meat guy. So it's kind of weird being Andre the farmer and I don't eat a ton of veggies. But I eat like a 10-year-old basically. So I'm pretty much mostly, like rice and meat basically is what I eat. But I've actually started because when you grow stuff, you want to eat it, right? So, now I eat a lot more green vegetables. I eat a lot more salads. I've just harvested some broccoli yesterday. I harvested broccoli and some carrots. Like I want to eat that. I want to cook that tonight. I want to eat it because I grew it. You know, even mushrooms. Like I had my first mushroom like 2 months ago. Like I just always thought I hated mushrooms because I've only had the little button mushrooms, the little white
Hmm.
and the brown ones, and then the portobellas, and those are all the same mushroom. People don't know that. That's one species of mushroom. That's that. But I've had other mushrooms now, like lion's mane and oyster mushrooms, and they're amazing. They're so good. I love mushrooms now. So yeah. So what I choose, how do I choose to plant things? So I try to plant things I like or things that I've never tried before. And then some of you try and they're like, damn, I don't like this. I gotta get rid of this tree. But generally, I try to plant things I like or things that I think are cool or easy to grow. Um, so that's kind of how I plan my stuff out.
That's what's up. And mushrooms are great. This year, I'm going to start growing my own mushrooms in the yard. So yeah, I do like those little kit things, but I want to make a little section in my yard where I just have limited amounts of mushrooms. And I had a cauliflower mushroom this past summer. Went foraging in the woods with my little brother, and we found this cauliflower mushroom. I don't know the real name of it, but it looks like a cauliflower. I was
That
scared to death to eat.
might be lion's mane.
Yeah, I was scared to eat it, but I ate it. Thought it was gonna die.
Was it good?
It was really good. We made like some type of pasta dish with it or whatever. But yeah, it was pretty good. And I was like,
That
okay,
sounds like
so
lion's mane.
I'm ready to go back in the woods and find some more stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
that sounds like lion's mane. Lion's mane, I made crab cakes with it.
okay.
And I also made chicken nuggets with it. And
Mm-hmm.
the chicken, I did a TikTok on the lion's mane, but the chicken nuggets were freaky. Like it was insane. Like it tasted like meat. Like
Oh
it
yeah.
was insane. So good.
I, I make like a fried fish type with the oyster mushrooms, and you wouldn't know the difference unless you told someone. You know what I'm saying? You give it that fishy flavor with seaweed and all that good stuff. You would
Mhm.
never know. Where do
Yeah.
you buy your seeds from if you do buy seeds?
Usually I'll get them online. Occasionally I'll get them from like a box store, but I've found that I haven't had great success with like Lowe's and Home Depot sort of seeds. So Haas Tools is a place that sells seeds. And then there's another place called, I can't remember the name. It's like the tomato something. It's like TG. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like they basically specialize in tomatoes. They have like hundreds of varieties of tomato seeds. But generally, Haas Tools is one of the places I get my seeds from.
Okay, that's what's up, y'all. I hope y'all taking notes, folks. Do you have a favorite plant or vegetable that you like to grow now?
Ooh,
And what is it and why?
I like growing bananas. Does that count?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, vegetable or fruit or plant. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I love bananas because one, I just love the concept of how they grow, and I love the look of a rack of bananas. Like it just is the ultimate in tropicalness. When I see a rack of bananas in my yard, I feel like, man, this is like crazy. I always do these sort of like thought experiments. Like if 30 years ago or 40 years ago, someone could just show me what I would be looking at. And I think like, man, if I could be looking at bananas and palm trees, like I'd be like, wow, that's an amazing life, you know. So I'm here in Florida, and I'm just, thankful every day that I can look at bananas and palm trees. So bananas would be up there because a lot of people don't know that you chop the banana down after it fruits because that stalk is only going to fruit once.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that whole idea of just a new one coming up. That to me is pretty cool. Like I really enjoy that.
That's what's up. From favorite fruits to what was the hardest plant you ever tried to grow?
Boy, probably a lot of things. Having trouble with a mame sapote right now. Um, the cacao is difficult. The cashew is difficult. And most of those are climate things. I'm trying to push the zone on those things and grow them in places where they're not really supposed to grow. So those would probably be my hardest things because of that. Um, yeah, I think those are probably the hardest things that I've had trouble growing down here. Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up. I'm gonna come down there and steal some of your bananas.
You're welcome to. You're welcome to.
I actually do have a banana tree here. It's in the house now currently, but last year I did get like a rack of bananas.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
Not really big, maybe this
Right.
size. It's like a
Okay.
blue cream, ice cream or something type
Ice
brand.
cream banana.
Yeah. So
Wow, that is
I
pretty cool.
put it out in the summertime, and then I was like, "Oh, holy shit! It's about to fruit," and it did fruit, and got a few. It's not looking so good right now. Maybe the winter time got to go.
That
So
to
back.
be able to get that's the first time I've heard of someone in Maryland getting bananas from a banana tree. Like that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You
So
might be
like I
doing
said,
something right.
I'm one of those ones I like to just try whatever to see if I could do it. And if I do it,
Exactly.
if I don't, I don't. I had my first
Yeah.
pomegranates this year, which I was excited about. And what else? My first papaya. I only got it. It was tiny, but I grew it.
Got one.
You know what I'm saying?
How did you
From
like papayas?
huh?
How did you like the papaya?
I liked it. Yeah, I like papaya. But it was funny. So I took the seeds out, you know, and kind of like was plucking them outside because I was eating it outside, and then I got like 5 or 10 papaya trees, like just like off the bread. I did do an experiment where I said I was gonna keep one outside and cover it and see if it would last through the winter, but it did make it through the winter.
Oh, yeah. But that's amazing, though. One thing I did learn is that I don't like papaya. So I have a few papaya trees, and when I first got my first papaya, I was all excited, and I was like, man, I don't know. I something about the smell. But there's different varieties. There's different varieties of papaya too. Like I've had papayas that are some that are better than others.
Yeah, I mean, I like to darken it up. I like to put tahini sauce on it or pepper, lime juice, but that tahini to kind of give it like a little spiciness to it. I love it. Eat it like that.
Okay, cool.
Do you have a favorite trick or tip that you have picked up along the way besides the air layer?
Favorite tip or trick? That's hard. I'm probably not thinking of a lot of them. You know, I just did one with the celery that I learned.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I'm going to do my
So,
celery like that this week.
what's that?
I said I'm
You
going to do my
did?
celery like that this week because I
Yeah.
noticed like how you were talking about it. Like mine was kind of thinned out a little bit and it was crunchy, but it wasn't like hearty like I want that big crunch. So I'm definitely gonna follow that advice. I did make celery salt with it, and that was a whole mess. But yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
cool. That's cool.
But
Yeah.
tell us about that real quick.
Sorry, what's that?
I said tell us about that real quick.
Oh,
That's
yeah. So basically, when you're growing celery, if you just grow celery just in plant and just leave it in the ground, it's going to just sort of branch out and it's just going to be wide and it's going to be really thin. So what you have to do, once it gets pretty close to being mature, you got to sort of put it all together and you got to wrap it with like paper or plastic or something that's going to block out the light and keep those together. And it's going to cause those stalks to like blanch and they'll get thick. And that's how you get your celery to look more like the celery in the store. It's not going to look exactly like celery in the store, but it's not going to be super, super thin. And I did that. I've grown celery twice now. I grew it about 2 or 3 years ago, and I did that, and it worked really well. So this is the second time that I'm doing it. I don't know why I don't grow more celery, because I cook with celery a lot. I like celery. It's funny, I don't like to eat celery, but I love to put celery in anything I'm cooking. I just can't eat raw celery. It's a texture thing for me. And I love the
Yeah, I love
smell of it.
celery too. And so the first celery I ever grew was from a regrow. I took the stalk of the celery and I regrew it. And I couldn't believe how it got so big and so massive. But it wasn't as thick like you said, like the store was, even though it was a regrow from a piece of celery. But I'm definitely gonna learn that trick. But I did, like I said, do some celery salt and I just chopped it down, blended it up. Well, I was following a recipe. I shouldn't have followed that recipe. They said make it into like a wet mixture and then put it in dehydrator, and that was disgusting. It was a mess everywhere. Um, so the
That's
next
why
time I
I don't
do
do
it,
recipes. I
yeah,
don't
the
do
next time I
recipes. I don't measure.
yeah. The next time I'm just gonna like just dry the celery out as little bits and pieces as opposed to blending it up and making a mixture of it. It was disgusting. And but I mean I learned something, you know what I'm saying? And then I grinded it down and now I got a big old tub full of celery salt, which is really cool.
So did you add salt or is it just celery powder?
Yeah, no, I added some pink Himalaya salt to give it more natural healthier salt. Um, what is your favorite gardening tool when you're out there? Is it the permaculture hat
For gardening.
or if it's something else?
It's funny because now that I have these hats, like I literally don't wear any other hat. Like anywhere I go, I wear this hat. So I have like a whole bunch of baseball caps that are just like totally useless to me now. But I know my favorite gardening tool are my shears. I feel like if I'm walking around without my pruning shears, I feel like I'm naked out there. I just feel like I'm just missing something. And what I'm trying to create, I want to create a belt, like a sort of like a nylon sort of belt that you can just snap on, and on it with a magnet that you can just put your shears on the magnet. Because the problem I have is if I put my shears in my pocket, if I put them upside down, they end up cutting holes in my pocket. If I put them right side up, I end up getting cut every time it crosses across my body, like this scar. You guys can see that or not? You guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
That scar right there? That's like, a month ago, the shear is just right across my arm. I'm thinking, damn, I got a big old scar on my arm from something stupid like gardening shears. Looked like I was in a knife fight here, and my gardening shears were in my pocket. That's all. So that's one of the things I wanted. But my gardening shears are my favorite tool. I love having my gardening shears, and also my grafting knife. I love my grafting knife. I do a lot of grafting. I have one mango tree that last year produced 4 different types of mangoes for me. And this year it's got a 5th type that's actually blooming right now.
And talk about grafting, because grafting is a little bit different from layering.
Yeah,
Kind of the
yeah,
same setup, so to speak, but different. Talk about that a little bit before.
right. They're both sort of, I want to say they're like cousins, but they're not brothers and sisters. Grafting is for different purposes. So there's multiple reasons why you could be grafting something. Like I graft for several different reasons depending on what I'm grafting. So one, when you plant like a seedling, like a seed of an avocado or a seed of a mango, you're going to get a tree, but it's not going to produce the same fruit that you planted. It will be somewhat different. It could be better, it could be worse, but it's unpredictable. Also, it's going to take 7 to 12 years before you get an actual fruit. So when I have seedlings, I don't have seedlings so that they'll grow into trees. I have seedlings so that I have rootstock so I can graft onto those seedlings. And what I'll do is I'll take a branch from my mature tree and I'll graft it onto a seedling. And now I have a tree of whatever I grafted it from. And that's going to produce fruit in probably 2 or 3 years instead of 7 to 12 years. And it's going to be the exact replica of the fruit from the tree that I grafted from. The other reason that I graft is to have multiple fruits on the same tree. So I have one mango tree that has probably 12, at least 12, maybe 15 different varieties of mangoes grafted onto it. So this year will be an interesting year to see how many varieties of mangoes it can produce. And the third reason why I graft is a lot of times you'll have a tree that's not producing fruit. If you graft a mature tree onto that, then even that one branch, whether that branch produces or not, it can stimulate the whole rest of the tree to produce fruit.
Oh wow! And I would say that's what probably what those big box stores sell. I mean, because those trees, like my peach tree, I got from a big box store, and that first year it bloomed and it produced, and I was like, wow! I thought I was gonna wait for a couple years. You know what I'm saying? So that's a
Yeah,
great.
no, when you buy trees at a grocery store, at a nursery, or like a big box store, you're buying grafted trees. You're not buying seedlings. Like nobody sells seedlings for multiple reasons. They don't want to wait for their trees to grow, 5 years before they can sell them. So they'll plant a seedling, they'll buy a bunch of seedlings, and then they just graft all the seedlings, and then they sell those grafted seedlings,
Oh,
grafted
that's
trees.
cool. So I can do grow some cherry seedlings and then graft it onto my cherry tree and it maybe work.
Actually, you would graft a branch from your cherry tree onto your seedling.
Oh, okay.
Right, because you want your seedling to be able to produce. Your cherry
Oh,
tree is already.
okay, cool. And you have videos of that, right?
Yeah, on my YouTube, I've got very extensive videos on grafting. There's some TikTok videos on grafting and some Instagram videos on grafting. Andre the Farmer everywhere.
Okay. I'm definitely going to look into the grafting part now. And I did do the air layering and but I gave that away to someone. It was a part of the peach tree and I'm not sure if she kept it up yet or not. I have to check in with her and see if she kept up with it. But yeah, I have tried that before. Folks, if you have any questions you want to ask Andre the Farmer, put them in the little question box right there because we're going to get out of here soon. But if you have some questions, we want to be able to answer those questions here. How often should we water? Because you said you live on like swampy type kind of like land. Does that swampiness like plays a part into your watering factor, or you just go out there and use the water hose? What's the deal with that?
Yeah, I'm not really in a swamp area. I'm up on a
Okay.
hill. So there's a
Okay.
lake behind me. So I've got some areas that are pretty moist. Yeah, it's Andre the Farmer for that person who asked that. Yeah, Andre the Farmer everywhere. Yeah, so I have a sprinkler system that waters the stuff that's towards the lawn, that's close to the lawn. But everything down the hill there, that I have to hand water. And basically, I probably water maybe once a week during the cold season. Like, but in the spring and the summer when it's raining every day, then I don't really water at all. You know, I hope that my mature trees get to the water table eventually. And once the tap roots get there, then you really don't have to do much watering at all. The trees will be fine. For the garden and the raised beds, they do need water, you know, every other day or so. You don't want to let them dry up. But I try to let the trees sort of fend for themselves and really have them search for water deep so they can sustain themselves.
Oh, that's what's up. And how often do you fertilize, or do you fertilize at all?
I do. I fertilize. Well, I feed. I don't really fertilize. I feed with mulch. I feed with wood ash. I feed with Epsom salt, and I feed with Mexican sunflower. And sometimes I'll do some fish emulsion diluted. I'll spray that as well. And those are the main things I'll fertilize with.
Yeah, that's some stinky stuff. One of the things in ash, um, I've done that now because I thought you shouldn't put ash in your compost bin or in your fertilizer. How beneficial is wood ash to the plants?
Wood ash provides a lot of trace minerals, so wood ash is very beneficial. Whenever I plant a new tree, if I remember, I like to go over to my fire pit and get at least a couple of scoops of wood ash and have that be sort of in that initial soil.
Okay. So we have a question for Gio the gardener. Are you a certified permaculturist?
No,
And if so, do you have any recommendations for classes?
no, I am not. You know, I don't think I will be. You know, I feel that permaculture is not something that anybody can own or tell you that you're this or you're that. You know, I always say, like, permaculture, people think that it's a big thing when it's really a small thing. Like, if you have an apartment and you've got you know, I'd say like a little margarine container and you're growing a little pepper plant in there and getting a pepper from it, you're doing permaculture. You're a permaculturist. You know, if you take that, you know, that garbage and you don't throw it in the garbage, you use it as, you repurpose it or you do something with it, you're doing permaculture. So I don't think you need to really have a degree to sort of do the right thing or know what is the right thing to do. So no, I do not have that. I don't know where you would get that. I've never really researched it, and I'm not looking to do it. You know, but hey, maybe I'll teach classes and give people certificates in permaculture. You'll be a permaculture lifist.
That's a,
I'll give you a degree in permaculture life.
and a couple
I'll
people
write
they
it. I'll
agree
write it
with
on
you.
a leaf. I'll write it on a leaf.
Yeah. And there's a couple of people in the room, they agree with you, so that's a good thing. And my last and final question, because we're almost up to an hour. What are your future plans for gardening?
Oh, you know, I want to continue to extend the food forest. There's some other areas I can move it into, so I definitely want to do that. But I really want to see my trees mature. Like, I have so many young trees because they're from COVID, so they're all like 2, 3, 4 years old. So I really want to see the forest mature because the way that I've sort of now strategically planted things, like, there's a lot of trees that when they grow, it's going to be a jungle down there, and it's going to be a food jungle. So I'm really excited about that. That's what I'm looking forward to. In terms of the permaculture life, you know, we're really trying to make this a brand that represents everybody that's in the permaculture movement. So it's permaculturelife.com. I really think that this can be something that can sort of be my main career. And also, I think it's something that can also help a lot of people. Because, you know, like I said, you know, $1 from every purchase goes towards gardening projects. You know, so I don't only send money, but I also spend a lot of time in these community gardens and with school kids and trying to teach them about gardening and how to grow food. So that's my goal. My goal is to get to the point where Permaculture Life is big enough that we don't even really necessarily partner with charities, that we are our own charity and we are, you know, actually out there with an army of people sort of creating gardens in underserved areas.
That's what's up. I love that, and I received that, and I want to be a part of permaculture life too. And because I mean, I'm on the same mission. You know, why not join forces with each other, as opposed to trying to reinvent the wheel, and connect and build a bigger network. So you have a permaculture person here in Maryland. Need
All
to
right.
when you're ready to branch out. I'm
I
here
like that.
to do that. I do appreciate your time for coming on today, this morning, waking up and getting on. And also, saying breaking your Instagram live cherry. That's when I ask folks to put cherries in the room.
Yeah, I need to do some. I didn't even, I honestly didn't really know that Instagram had a live. Like I thought it was just TikTok lives. But I understand that YouTube has a live as well.
Yes, YouTube. The difference with YouTube and Instagram, you can go live no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And you can talk to as many people as possible. On TikTok, your people have to be like you have to get 1,000 followers first, and then if you want to say you wanted to connect with me, if I didn't have 1,000 followers, you couldn't connect with me on TikTok. That's the difference with TikTok.
Oh,
So
I didn't
all
know.
the people on TikTok, they will have to have like 1,000 followers to kind of like do an interaction like we're doing now, opposed to like here on Instagram where you could just go live with anybody, and then YouTube you can go live, and then you can do the whole thing where you're going live on Instagram, live on YouTube, live on a Clubhouse, a fan base app, all at the same time. They have like these
Really?
programs called Restream, and Restream can do all of those. I think you can do like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube all at the same time.
Really?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
I,
So
I am not utilizing my the technology. I just am weak on the technology, but
yeah, and I'm learning that too. I bought this $100 gizmo, and it has not worked yet the right way. Maybe it's operator error. I don't know. It's operator error. So I'm trying to learn how to use it in conjunction with like a mixing board beat, so I can do like more things like play some more music. I have a theme song for this show. You know what I'm saying? When I do load it up to like YouTube, and then I'll also do an audio version of this where it's like a podcast, and I'll put my intro at the beginning. I'm trying to learn how to do that all in one, and so it's going to take me a couple of days to really get into it. But I think you can maximize all your fan base or followers or people who support you by giving them one stream all at once. You know what I'm saying?
that's
Opposed to, okay, I'm going live on Instagram now. Now I got to run over to Facebook. I got to run over to YouTube. But check out restream.com. That's what I have right now.
I gotta be taking notes of it. Oh, let me restream.com.
Yeah, restream.com. And Fanbase. You want to check out
And
Fanbase too.
yeah, I'm gonna sign up for Fanbase because I just want to support that. I might
Mm.
even invest in it too.
Yeah, they still looking for that. I think they're trying to raise $2.5 million. I think they up to um $190 million or something like that.
Okay.
And like 250 can get you almost like 40 shares of it, which is pretty good. And when they started last year, they were like it was 4 shares, and then it doubled to 8 shares, and so it could possibly double again, which will be really great. It's owned by Isaac Hayes the third. He's the son of Isaac Hayes, the singer, the famous
Oh,
Isaac
wow.
Hayes. Yeah.
Cool.
Now the only thing with fan base is just a little difficult to maneuver a little bit,
Right.
but once you get in there and start playing around with it, it's a viable platform. It will be a viable platform soon, and it's Black owned. You know.
Right. Right. I'd like to support that. Yeah, I'm sure they're working out the kinks. Anything new
Hmm.
have some kinks in it, but all right, cool. I'm definitely gonna check that out, man. But thank you for having me on here, man. I enjoyed my time. It flew by like this. It was so
Yeah.
fast.
And thank you. I thank you. I mean, I support you. It was funny that I had Erica playing on yesterday and then you today. I call it like the Super Bowl of gardeners. I just, um, love what both of you do. And I thank you for your time. Next week, y'all have Farmer Brown, the MC, and this guy is a rapper and a gardener at the same time, and a children book author. He's going to be on next Saturday, and then someone else from DC is going to be on soon, and then all month of March is all women gardeners and farmers, and we're working on a nice little real video for YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. And I think people gonna like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Are you on the same time every week?
Same time every week on Saturdays. I'm usually not on Sundays. Um, but I'm on Saturday at 11 a.m. I did a couple Sundays. I booked over, so I'm one of those planners because I used to be a TV producer. So I'm a planner. So I've booked up every Saturday and maybe 3 Sundays up until May, and then I'll take a break.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's all black and brown folks coming on. Yeah, so that's what it is. Yeah, catch me next Saturday if you can. Everybody, you know how I like to leave. I like to say, live your life healthy, free from negativity, and as always, you gotta stay dope, y'all. All right, peace out.